Good morning and welcome to Love Island, the morning after, the only official Love Island podcast. You're waking up with me, Amy Hart.
And me, India Polack, and we are here to discuss all of last night's drama. Honestly, I can barely stand this morning. It was a lot to take in.
It was packed full.
It was a lot.
And once again, we are joined by our wonderful guest for this week, the lovely Maddie Grace Jepson.
I'm
back
back,
again.
guys. I'm exhausted after that.
I know.
Aren't you?
It felt like so much happened in that episode.
There was a lot.
We started off with the fallout from the previous episode's game, which was beer pong.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was a lot of snogging going on. Meg and Dejon, obviously, it was not going well.
No.
I feel like there's going to be some sort of conflict between Meg and Dejon every episode.
Even when they're coupled up with new people.
Even when they're coupled up with new people.
Yeah.
Because there's always something new. I do feel like sometimes Dejon kind of forgets what he says, you know? And then he kind of delivers it in a different way to
How
Meg.
convenient.
Meg said, you said that Yasmin wasn't attractive and then you kissed her as the most attractive girl outside of your couple. I think he was quite right when he was saying that his question was, snog the islander outside of your couple that you find the most attractive. Now, Yasmin is the newest one in. So compared to all his mates that he's been getting to know, that probably some of them are a bit like sister vibes to him.
Yeah.
He's going to kiss the sort of one that he doesn't have that much connection with.
Yeah.
That's true.
And he couldn't pick Meg. The question was outside of your couple. Her question was, do a sex position with the person you think would be best in bed. She could have picked Dejon and she chose not to, obviously because she wanted to get back at him. But I do think he was right to say that, but Meg wasn't having any of it.
Yeah, I do think in this situation, Dejon did play by the game and the rules. Not that he got off scot-free, but he did what was right. I understand from Meg's position how that can be really off. But again, he's not going to kiss Meg because that wasn't the question. And imagine him kissing one of the girls that he kind of sees as friends. It's going to give off the wrong vibe. Meg kind of shot herself in the foot.
Yeah, I think it was just the timing, why it was like extra salt in the wound for Meg. That whole situation of the threesome again and again. We'll keep talking about it. But like, I just think it was clearly a bit of a trigger for
She's
Meg.
heightened already.
Yeah. He played by the rules, but the rules stung for Meg. And that just was what it was.
And I think I love Meg and I've always backed her, as you know, if you listen to this podcast every day. Yasmin's behaviour has been questionable, but she's bombshelling. So what can we say? I didn't like how she kept saying, you said she wasn't attractive. Everyone in that villa is attractive.
Yeah, and also I don't
he
think
never
he
said it in
said
such
that.
words.
Did he? I
No.
don't.
It's not you weren't attracted to her, it's that she wasn't attractive. I thought that was a little bit
Yeah,
mean.
and also, Dejon's not really had a chance to really get to know anyone. You know, Tony even said it last night. We see a different side to Dejon when he's not around Meg.
Agreed.
So maybe if Meg wasn't even in the situation, he would have been getting to know Yasmin a lot earlier. So who knows?
Meg said she isn't his Meg and said,
As if
and she
established.
said, I'm taking a big step back.
She loves that saying.
Even in the later game, which we'll come to later, they were arguing and then the next shot, he had his arm around her and she was cuddled in. So I don't think this is the end of Meg and Dejon and I can't wait to discuss it all again tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the situation is here to stay. So,
Agreed.
I don't know what to call these guys. It's not a
Dejon?
situation.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a situationship. Like, they're getting to know
No.
each other, but they're putting us through something every night.
They are. I think that Meg really likes him and that's why she's so scared of losing him because there's nobody else in the villa for her. She's obviously tried to chat to Harrison, but I think that Dejon is the man for her. However, I think Dejon is waiting to recouple with someone else. Boys don't like to be on their own. Obviously, in Love Island, if you're on your own, you're vulnerable. So I think until there is a hard option that Dejon can recouple with, but I feel like we're just going to keep going and going and going until they're not together anymore. And then it may still continue. I'm not sure.
Hey.
Yasmin and Shay had a chat. He said, you made me look like a mug. And she said, yes, I did.
Yeah. It was very clear that this situation wasn't going anywhere. So I think in the morning, it was fair and square.
And also, I did like that she stood on business and she
Yeah.
said, what I did wasn't nice, but I'm not saying I regret it. Like, she owned it and she said, everyone was playing safe. I went for it and I'm sorry that hurt you.
Yeah.
So she owns her actions.
Yeah.
She stands on business. She never beats around the bush.
No.
She
Yeah.
never does that. She's not being deceiving.
I did feel for Shay, though, when the boys were laughing because boys can be like your bro, but then they do laugh at you and then they were like, no, I wasn't laughing at you, wasn't laughing at you.
Yeah.
Yes,
They
you
were mean boys. It was
Yeah.
like a group of mean boys. I didn't
Yeah.
like that.
There's been a bit of division. You can see who's friends with who's clicking up with who and whatever's going on. And I feel like Shay doesn't really fit. He gets along with everyone,
Yeah.
but I don't really see him having like a bestie in there. He's
No.
getting along with Ramel, but I'm assuming because they're both bombshells as well.
Yeah.
So when you're a bombshell, you kind of have that natural connection.
And Ben, he's with Ben quite a bit as well,
yeah,
isn't he? But
yeah.
you are right. I liked that he went over and said something. I
Yeah.
thought that he needed to. And again, he made the points of like, we're supposed to be like boys in here, like,
because it's not
stuff
nice.
It's just not nice.
It's not nice because also he doesn't really have a connection with anyone. At a point, he thought it was going to go somewhere with Yasmin. Now it's not. So it's just sort of like,
Yeah.
Last night, we saw Helena speak to the girls after finding out that, Harry and Yasmin had a chat on the terrace. And what do you feel like? Because I feel like she was playing it cool. She kind of acted like she didn't really care. But the girls were like, no, you need to stand on business. Harry's been getting away with murder a little too long. And you need to tell him, like, what's actually going on.
Yeah. I think it's typical Helena fashion. Like, she's too cool about it. Like, he has literally been getting away with everything. If she was a bit, stood on business and said, that's disrespectful, I don't like that, he wouldn't do it.
No.
As much. I mean,
I think he still would.
I just wish that she would stand up a bit for herself, just for her own dignity.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the way to act. Like,
she went a bit sort of, I might be using the wrong term, she went a bit deflective because she was like, she's boring, you don't fancy her. Do you think she actually feels like that, or do you think that is her trying to act like she doesn't care? Or do you think she does care deep down?
I think she does care, and I think she genuinely is trying to convince him in a cool way, what we have is really good, but I don't want to tell you that. I think we've got a really good connection.
Do you think she's seen Meg do the whole like,
I think she doesn't want to
that way around, like
that
the very emotional shouting?
She's really worried about being vulnerable because she knows what he's like.
Yeah. I reckon, and correctly so on Helena's part, I wonder if she's like, I know he's not going to change, because she said later on in the dressing room, didn't she? Like, if this is what he's like in here, what the hell is he going to be like on the outside?
Yeah.
I think she knows her worth. She's 29. She knows that if your boy is taken from you, he was never your boy in the first place. I think she's just biding her time. She's happy with Harry, but she knows that because he's doing all this, when someone comes in that's all for her, she deserves better, and then she can go.
Yeah, I think so. And I agree with you, but also in the same breath, I generally don't think Helena likes Harry as much as we think. Because if she did, like we both said, she would maybe be on the same wavelength as Meg, and she would be a bit more forthcoming when it came to pulling up Harry about his actions. I think he's made it very clear what kind of guy he is and what he's into. She's the kind of person that takes things at face value. And I always say, like, if someone is showing you their personality, that's exactly who they are. Like, believe it.
It's like no answer's an answer.
Yeah, like she even said it at the mini fire pit. She was like, I'm kind of done with it already in my head already. Maybe that's why I'm just like not being so aggy about the situation. So yeah, I think she's being cool, calm and collected because
maybe she doesn't actually care
she doesn't
much.
care that much about him.
And also I think maybe Harrison's not for her. Obviously there's a big age gap there and not that initial spark. And there are other girls that are interested in him that he's interested in. With Harry, she's safe. She's coupled up.
Yeah.
She's not single and vulnerable. So I think, I hope she's just biding her time and that she knows her worth. But if she likes him, she likes him.
Also, she is trying to enjoy her time in there. It is the Love Island villa. You are in there to flirt. You are in there to get to know people. So I think she's also trying to sort of ground herself and like not take the whole experience too seriously. Because I feel like when you do take the Love Island experience too seriously, it will flash before your eyes and then you're like, why do I not just enjoy myself?
Yeah,
it's
I
a
know.
once in a lifetime experience.
I can't imagine anyone being like,
hey.
It's like looking at it from the outside.
Yeah.
Helena is like, I'm not going to let this stress me out.
Yeah.
Because if I let it stress me out, then that consumes my whole mind and that sort of takes up a lot of time in my day. Week 1 of Love Island has been full of both twists and gorge pre-love fits from eBay. With so much to unpack, I'm here to bring you up to speed with all the fashion goss straight from the villa. Our brand new bunch are settling in and serving some serious looks. Alima kicked it off in a stunning Wonder Doll co-ord worn previously by All Stars 2, Gabby and Elma, while Connor ticked all the boxes in his Nike Air Maxes. Freshly sealed with eBay's authenticity guarantee, may I add. Finally, all eyes were on Harry, starting off the week in an Axel Arigato jacket worn by Harry G in Series 11's Floral Party and All Stars 2, Sammy, then turning heads for the right reasons in those amazing Supreme and Liberty trousers. Just goes to show, pre-loved always slays. If you're ready to get those heads turning too, shop your next villa-inspired outfit on eBay. Sponsors of Love Island.
Hideaway Harry. Hideaway Harry. He's making a little name for himself and he landed up back there again with Yasmin. So he invited Yasmin to the Hideaway. They had a little chin wag. They also did exchange, a couple kisses.
I think we need to talk about this Hideaway because I feel like too much went on in there for us to gloss over this.
Oh my God. Please, can we remake it?
Yeah. Who are you?
Yes.
Yes, and I'm Harry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, I really like talking to you. You know.
Just waiting for you to shut the and kiss me. It was like something from Coronation Street.
It was worse. It was like something that I should not be watching.
Like it was like scripted.
Yeah.
I was like, no, like you've used that line before.
I know, yeah. I mean, she is bombshelling, and I will say,
She
like,
is.
hats off to her. She is amazing.
She is doing a great job.
But I do feel like, you know, like Woody from Toy Story's got 6 phrases when you pull the thing. I feel like she's got her playbook and she's sticking to it.
And she
it
knows
really
what
works.
She
It
knows
works.
And it
what
works.
works.
It does.
Yes, she
It
knows what
literally
works.
works.
I would love to know the stat. I think Yaz might have like got the most boys to snog her in the shortest amount of time.
Yeah, they're all
Like,
falling for
because
it.
they're all doing it voluntarily as well. It's not like, you know, some bombshells go in and they will like snog loads of boys in challenges and stuff. Like they are coming to her. And this is the thing, everyone's saying that she's chasing people, she's chasing people. She's not.
she's actually not.
having these mutual conversations with people. He could have said like, oh, I think it's too early to kiss you. But no, he said, yeah, go on then.
No, he wanted to.
Yeah.
He's been doing this since the start. He started off with Helena when they were doing the little toe scratches to get each other in the hideaway. And now he's moved on to Yasmin.
The toe scratches.
You know, it's like, he just loves it. He absolutely loves it. I mean, Helena did say, you know, she kind of thinks he's doing this to get a reaction because she had a chat with Harrison.
Yeah, because I was going to say...
Do you think that's kind of true?
Yeah, we missed that part out. I feel like he did do that in retaliation to the fact that she'd gone and spoke to Harrison. But also, it's such a Harry thing to do that with Yaz. But I do think that was a trigger for him to go and do that. And he just took it too far.
I think he's always looking for an excuse, like any sort of inkling that, you know, Helena could be, you know, cracking on or also getting to know other people. It's like, yeah, well, you know, I've got a reason to do it now.
See, I don't think Harry's that calculated. I think it's just like the filter is not there. Like we said, I think it's like, shut up and kiss me. Okay, cool. I'll do that. You've asked me to. I'll do it. He doesn't have that critical thinking filter of like, should I really kiss her? Because obviously I am coupled up with Helena. He just does it.
I know. And then he did say, he was like, later on, didn't he? He was like, I feel bad. I shouldn't have done that.
I don't think he felt bad.
I don't.
No.
I think he felt bad when he didn't get the reaction from the boys that he thought he was going to get. And then he was like, oh, actually, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I'm like, no.
He didn't
Don't
feel
just
bad.
wait till the boys give you a reaction for you to decide whether it was right or wrong. Like, it was, he likes the scandal. He thrives off the
He
scandal.
loves the game.
He does.
Do we think there's actually a romantic connection brewing here between him and Yasmin?
No.
Or is it just sexual?
I think
It's
they've
just
got
sexual.
a lot of sexual chemistry,
Yeah.
which is fair enough. You can get so carried away with that feeling of like lust and everything. So I don't blame them, but I don't see any like real like deep connection there between them so far.
I don't know how long this all lasts for Yasmin, if I'm honest, because yes, she's bombshelling. Yes, she's given us great stuff to watch, great stuff to talk about. However, we haven't seen her have anything like deeper than a surface level sexual conversation with anyone. And that's only going to last so long before it's like, have you got any brothers? Like we said, have you got any brothers or sisters? Like, when's your birthday?
We don't
Like,
know anything about her.
don't know
I don't know
anything
anything
about her.
about her. Like, there's so much more to her than she's just like choosing to share. And I hope we do get to see a little bit more of who she is.
I wonder if we all know the girls who don't like to open up because they're worried what people will think. So they put on that mask of being really like highly sexual and stuff because it means they don't have to be vulnerable, don't have to talk about anything else. And I wonder if she will let that wall come down.
Yeah, I hope so.
If she wants to pursue more of a connection with anyone, she's going to have to.
Yeah.
Now, when they came out of the hideaway, everyone was like, did you kiss? Did you kiss? And
did
they
like this
both said
bit.
no.
Yeah.
And then when they pushed Yaz for an answer, she just kept saying, we had a good chat. That's all I'm going to say right now, which, I mean, did give the game away a bit. But Helena said that if she finds out that they kissed, it is over. I mean, that to me is a yes.
Yeah,
But do you think
definitely.
Helena is choosing to ignore that?
It was very obvious that they kissed. I don't even think she was choosing to ignore it. I think it kind of...
But she said it was over, but then she didn't end it.
I feel like she didn't choose to believe it. I felt like she just wanted to wait until the right moment to hear it from Harry's mouth also. Because I feel like from what I've watched, Yasmin doesn't really have a strong friendship with any of the girls.
No.
She's made it very clear that she doesn't owe them anything. So even Helena hearing that, she could have taken that as in, maybe they didn't kiss, but Yasmin isn't my friend anyway. So even if they didn't kiss, Yasmin is just not going to tell me. Do you know what I mean?
I think
Yeah.
sometimes
that's
you
how
do
she
need
took
to
it.
hear it from the horse's mouth. As well. Is
Yeah.
that what I'm saying? I'd probably be the same. I'd be like, well, I'm just going to wait till they tell me the truth. Do you know what I mean? I'm just
Yeah.
going to wait.
'Cause
I
it's
know
gonna come
that
out.
it
Yeah.
happens, but like, you can be a big boy
Yeah.
and tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Because that's the mature and kind thing to do. So whether she knew or not, it's just more probably from a moral point of view. isn't it?
Yeah.
And luckily for Helena and us, nothing ever stays secret in the Love Island villa. She did actually go and tell Tony that she did kiss Harry. And she said the heat is always on me, which is a little bit of like, oh, look, the consequences of my actions coming to attack me. But she said it's never on the boys that these girls are coupled up with, which is true.
I think that is true.
But
Go on.
it's a two-way street because I think Yasmin's made it clear she doesn't want any friendships. She's not interested in being friends with the girls. When they're all getting ready at night, she's somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I think it is a two-way street in that if she was part of the friendship group, it might be different, but you've chosen to sort of isolate yourself. So nobody is going to have the loyalty to you.
Yeah. And I think that's where the whole key comes into. Like, Yasmin has decided to separate herself from the girls, not really integrate with the whole friendship stuff. So in that situation, I feel like when she's saying the heat's always on me, she's probably thinking, well, I'm not actually friends with you guys. So you should actually be speaking to Harry and finding out from Harry whether he kissed me or not. And I feel like in that situation, like, Harry has a relationship with Helena. He should be the big boy and be like, yeah, I kissed her. Because Yasmin isn't her friend.
Agreed.
You know?
But I hate that narrative.
Yeah,
because
it shouldn't be like that.
We heard from her confession from a couple of episodes ago that she likes the challenge of chatting to like married men and all this stuff. And, you know, she's like, I never feel bad about it. I'm like, well, that's actually, I don't know. I find that a bit challenging to like get my head around because it does take two to tango.
Yeah.
And whether you're friends with the woman or the girl or not, or the girls in the villa, like, I do think truth is the kindest thing and honesty is the
100%.
kindest thing. And like, you do owe people honesty and kindness.
Yeah.
I do think that.
And I think as well, it wasn't like Helena pulled her for a chat in like the style of Meg, being like, what did you do?
It was a simple
It was like
question.
they walked out of the Hideaway and Yasmin chose to go into the kitchen where Helena was.
What happened in the Hideaway then, Yasmin?
We had a good chat.
Good chat?
Yeah.
Did you kiss?
We just had a good chat.
You kissed, didn't you?
We just had a good chat.
Did you kiss him, yeah or no? It's a simple question.
We had a good chat.
If you're going to lie about it, just say no.
That's what I thought. I thought you
Don't
just
give
say,
it the whole,
just say no.
That's all I'm going to say right now.
Yeah, we're not really used to girl friendships like that. We're kind of used to being open and honest with each other. And if I did kiss your guy, I'm going to let you know about it. But I think we're seeing a new wave of girl friendships we're seeing in the villa where there's not much.
Yeah, especially what we've seen this year already with that first week. We're only in week 2. I can't believe we're still only in week 2. So much has happened. That first week, all the girls were so respectful to each other. And the other night when they were all chanting when Tony came back in and stuff, it is alien to what we've seen already. But time will tell if she is the ultimate bombshell.
Time will tell. She's doing a good job so far.
Another night, another challenge/game. It was called Look Who's Talking. And basically, the Islanders had to go up and pick a card from a box, read out a quote that had been said. I mean, what a great challenge for this bunch of people. And then everyone had to guess who it was that said it. And they pulled off the tape and revealed who said it. Of course, there was going to be fireworks. There were so many good ones. If you haven't watched the episode, please go back and watch it. It was amazing. Couple we want to talk about, Shakira and Ben.
I don't know if the conversation, is stimulating for my brain. I'm quite a smart girl.
I don't get that.
Yeah, what does that mean? She's saying the conversation's not stimulating for her brain.
Basically saying she's too smart for the guy she's chatting to. Yeah, I'm going to go Shakira about Ben. Yeah, Shakira about Ben.
Ooh, I feel like that needed to happen because Shakira's obviously been trying to explain to the girls, this is what he's like. He likes to wind me up when we have a confrontation. And I feel like during that fire pit, all the girls saw Ben's reaction and understood where Shakira was coming from.
Yes.
It was very childish. It was very much giving, oh, I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah.
When he was like, oh, you've not seen nothing yet. It's sort of like, I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see
And
it.
I'll be honest, I don't think anything Shakira said was bad. I think they've obviously got different interests.
Yeah.
We're seeing the cracks starting to show with them. And she was having a very open conversation about that, she doesn't find their conversations interesting. And he was so offended by that.
Literally.
But it's an ego bruise. And we all saw his reaction, which I will say I found very immature.
It was like, you've got no brain cells the way you're talking now.
And it was so rude. It was just so rude. I don't know.
It wasn't necessary.
No, it wasn't.
Just to play devil's advocate, obviously, I am Team Shakira all the way, but to be sat round with all your friends and for a card for that says the girl that you're dating doesn't think you've got any brain cells.
It
wasn't the ideal place for it to be revealed. It wasn't.
And she did say, I was going to have this conversation with you tonight. And I can imagine him just taking the piss all the time can be quite annoying.
She wants to have deep, interesting conversations, and maybe they don't have that. So.
I do think with all the drama that's happened in the first 2 weeks, I feel like the Islanders themselves have missed out on a lot of these small talk, deep
real life
conversations
yeah.
because there's been so much going on. And I think that's what's starting to show from their coupling.
They're all focused on who's coupled up with who. How about we have some conversations and actually get to know each other? And then you can decide.
Yeah, I would love to know how much they all know about each other.
Yeah.
Because they're all just so worried about all the drama that's going on with like Meg and
who's
Dejon.
pulling
And,
who.
and I
like
just
people
think,
are pulling each other. Like, for example, Ben, you're getting upset about Harrison pulling Shakira. You don't even know what they're talking about. You know, and that's like what Shakira's trying to say. Like, you're trying to cause arguments and like we're not having real life conversations. All we're doing is arguing.
Yes.
And prime example, you know? So I think everyone needs to get back to knowing each
put
other.
your energy into getting to know your person you're coupled up with.
And then we had the big reveal about the kiss. So Harry obviously said, do you think I should kiss her? Is that what you're saying? Kiss her because I will. And he said, I don't think I said that. Do you think he actually forgets what he says?
Every
Or is he
time
just
they
lying?
said something that Harry said, he was going, it's not me.
Was it me?
It's not me.
I think towards the end, he genuinely did start forgetting though. Like there was a few quotes at the end and I think he with himself was like, I don't remember this one because he said so much.
I know. Megan, voice of the people. She's loving being, now because she's in her like secure relationship.
Yeah, that's
she's
how it always
loving being
goes.
voice of the people, commentator, and I love her for it.
I love her.
Yeah, she was saying like he tells you F all. Like he lies to you.
You can see Tommy in the back being like, yeah.
That's my girl.
Yeah.
That's my girl. I know. I love it. I just love it. I just think she's not afraid to call Harry out.
No.
And he's not been called out like that in front of everybody. He needed to be told and he had nothing to say either.
No.
He couldn't even
Because
say
it was
anything
all
back because it was
true.
true.
And I think he doesn't regret none of it.
No.
He doesn't regret any
No,
of it.
he doesn't.
And when he did start talking, he did admit to kissing Yasmin in the Hideaway twice. And she went, it was 3 times actually.
I know.
That was hilarious. I'm
That
not
was
going to lie.
tea.
Do you think Helena's going to call things off now she knows?
Oh, absolutely. And
She
to be
has
fair,
to.
I think within herself, it was already called off. I think this challenge was just, it wasn't even the icing on the cake. It was the sprinkles. It was everything, you know?
candles.
Like, there's no way she can take Harry back after this. I think towards the end, it did start getting a bit nasty. I mean, she voiced her opinion. She was like, oh, you know, I feel like you two together are a piece of wood. And then he turned around and said, so what are we then? You know?
yeah.
It's not very nice.
I just don't think there needs to be insults. I feel like it's like sly insults towards
Again,
Yasmin's character.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
it is once again the heat being on Yasmin.
Yeah.
It's not like you've made me
Calling
look like
him
a
out.
mug. It's you two don't have any chemistry together.
because Yasmin hasn't got those like connections with the girls, I worry that it's becoming a bit like mean
Yeah,
girly.
yeah.
And I know that she's done questionable things. I understand. She owns it. She stands on business. But it's becoming like a comparison thing. I don't like that.
But
I don't
also,
like
as well, you got to remember
comparison
that
thing.
what the girls see of Yasmin is her beautiful posture, floating around the villa. They don't really talk to her, so they don't really know much about her. All they see is her sort of walking from guy to guy. They didn't see what happened in the Hideaway. So to say that together they're a plank of wood. The reason that she thinks they're a plank of wood is because when they're out in front of everyone, they're obviously trying to
on the best
avoid each
behaviour,
other
yeah.
and not have any sort of flirtatious. But when they're on the terrace together, when in the Hideaway together, obviously they don't break eye contact. It's like, shut the F up and kiss me and all this. So it's just what they're seeing.
I think from the texts on the notes, kind of shows they're a bit more than a plank of wood. They have a lot of sexual chemistry. And I do totally agree. I do think a lot of the backlash is going towards Yasmin. And I don't think it's solely because she's speaking to the boys. I do think because that friendship isn't there.
Yeah,
So the
agreed.
girls are now looking for other things. It's like, okay, well, we're not friends and you're also talking to my boyfriend. But there needs to be more consequences for the boys' actions. And I just feel like at the end of the day, the girls need to remember Yasmin is a bombshell. She's doing a pretty brilliant job. She's, you know, some can say she's doing better than the girls because she's actually bombshelling, you
And
know?
also, let her crack on. Just let her get on with it.
And he'll realise he should have stayed with Helena.
It will
Or
make a
Shakira.
full circle moment. I'm really hoping it does that full circle moment.
In the beach hut, Harry said, I think there is substance of me and Helena, but there's also substance of me and Shakira as well. Like, he's keeping all those irons in the fire.
Yeah.
But that is all we've got time for, to be honest. And I don't think we could pack any more drama in. I need to lay down in a darkened room.
Literally.
Go again tonight?
I say, what's going to happen tonight?
I can't wait.
But don't forget to look out for First Look on YouTube and all the Love Island socials later on this afternoon.
And please leave us a comment and you can even drop us an email at themorningafter@itv.com.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.